Okay, bear with me, just saving settings. Okay, right then, over to you, Frances.
Lovely. Okay, thank you very much, Michelle. Welcome everybody. Welcome to an introduction to the Graduate Futures Department. A warm welcome to all the new students among you, and a welcome back to those of you who are returning. My name's Frances Odell. I head up the Graduate Futures Consultant team at LCF, and we are a team that consists of careers and enterprise consultants who design and deliver a sort of scheme of work in support of your career journeys. So we've got 4 co-hosts this morning, and before I introduce you to each of them, just to say hello, just to let you know, we are recording today, so if you want to sort of put your mics on mute, just in case you get an odd telephone conversation, as I have in the past. So if you can do that, that would be great. Michelle?
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name's Michelle and I work within the Graduate Futures Department. Lovely warm welcome back from our summer break, and welcome to 2022 into 2023. As I said, my name's Michelle Palmer and I work as a careers consultant within the Graduate Futures Department. I'll then hand you over to one of my colleagues who will also be co-hosting in our presentation today. So, Mirella.
Thank you, Michelle. Hi, everyone. Good morning and welcome. For those of you starting a new year, welcome back. For those of you starting LCF today, also big welcome. My name is Mirella Barbosa. I'm enterprise consultant here at Graduate Futures. And in a moment, we'll be sharing what we do and how you can interact with us. But right now, I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Asia.
Thanks, Mirella. Morning, everyone, and welcome. My name is Asia, and I'm an enterprise consultant within the Graduate Futures team. So I support with helping students and graduates start their own businesses, freelance practices or consultancies, but we'll talk about that in a bit more detail throughout the presentation. So I'll hand back to Frances.
Lovely. Okay, so we're going to take about sort of 45 minutes just to run you through what we do, how we do it, how you can get involved in our services. If you do have any questions during the presentation, please feel free just to pop any questions in the chat. After our session, we're going to hear from 3 recent graduates who have heard the mantra, as you're going to hear today. But I think it's really important that maybe you hear from them in terms of how they've engaged with our offer and what they're doing now in terms of the industry sector. And there'll be a chance for you to basically ask them questions directly. So that's the plan. And as a team, what we're here to do is enable you to reach your own individual career goals. And individual is a real key word. So through coaching, knowledge exchange, our workshops, industry presentations, networking opportunities, competitions, our aim is to make sure that you leave LCF equipped to navigate your own chosen career path. We have strong industry connections, and in a market segment that is fashion and the creative industries, by its very nature, it's consistently evolving and changing. Sometimes it can be volatile, and what we aim to do is to bring you timely and relevant insights and tools and techniques that can help inform both your professional and your personal development. you'll hear that we've got an array of tools and guides and modules, podcasts, presentations, opportunities to meet with industry, talk to one of the consultant team for any concerns or sort of areas that you may wish to develop or hone. And I just want to say that there's no right or wrong way, when you're looking at your career journey. There's no pass or fail. We don't mark you up or down. And this is very much about self-directed learning. You'll set your own career development learning plan. We'll help you set realistic goals and a systematic approach to help you realise your career ambitions. And what I would say, I'd advise that whatever year group or whatever discipline you're studying for, just be open-minded and be curious, because like I say, you might come in with an idea today saying that's my career journey, that's my path, but a year is really long in fashion, and curveball gets thrown or new developments come to the fore. So question all the time, sometimes step outside your comfort zone, because that's where growth happens. And I'm always one for a great quote, as my team will attest. And I don't know if anyone of you have heard of Zig Ziglar. He's a famous American author, very much rooted in the whole area of sales. And what he says is, when obstacles arise, you can change your direction to reach your goal. You do not change your decision to get there. So things might not go according to plan. Don't beat yourself up about it. What Graduate Futures is here to do is help you navigate any obstacles that you may be facing. And I'm going to quickly sort of run through our scheme of work in terms of an overview of what we do, and the team will go a little bit deeper into the specifics of those areas. But we've got three key areas that are part of our offer: career, which is employability knowledge, enterprise and freelancing knowledge, and then personal development. And the personal development, I think, is intrinsic to every single one of you studying at LCF. So although we're sort of positioned between employability and enterprise, there's commonality between all three. So, I see it as selling yourself. Either, you're selling yourself to an employer if you're looking to get a job. You're going to be selling yourself to a client if you're looking to become a freelancer. And if you're starting a business, you're looking to, sell a product or a service to a consumer. So you can see sort of where there's similarities. And what I would say is, irrespective of maybe, you either want to look at self-employment or employment, tap into as much as you can in terms of what we do as a team in the different areas, because 9 times out of 10 students say to me, I wasn't going to go to that, Frances, but actually I'm glad I did, because I picked this up which I wouldn't have thought about. So curiosity is going to be a key critical success factor as well for you. So yeah, be open to all that we do. And we have an approach that seeks to take our students and graduates on a journey. Again, you learn, you develop, you practice. So within our learning space, we've got a lot of information, reading materials, recordings and podcasts about sort of maybe top line sort of areas on a subject or a topic, where you can sort of maybe just get a sort of top line understanding of what it is. And then our develop offer will consist of online webinars, in-person workshops, practice-based activities, one-to-one coaching sessions that are going to seek to delve into a topic area more deeply. And as well as our Graduate Futures team, we're engaging with external and internal practitioners, functional and industry specialists in the space to give more context to that theory, that learning theory. And then the practice-based learning, for me, is probably a key prerequisite of what we do, is that we'll put you in an environment where you're going to learn by doing. So you'll practice the theory of what you've heard by doing it yourself, and then sort of cultivating what works for you. And I would say that some students can be a bit reticent about this because it's taking them out of their comfort zone. They feel that they're not confident, they can't do it. But failure is success in progress. Now, I didn't say that, Einstein did, and I'm a great believer of that failure informs success. So we can beat ourselves up a lot that things don't go according to plan, but just remember that if something does happen that you haven't planned for, failure isn't absolute. I always think of it as a bruise and not a tattoo. So yeah, just be mindful of being open, try new things, and I promise you'll learn by doing. So I'm now going to pass over to Michelle, who's going to go a little bit deeper into what we do.
Thank you, Frances. So what we're going to do now is we're going to delve a little bit more deeper into our teaching style. So within the learn aspect, which Frances went over, this within our teaching style enables students to develop their industry knowledge by understanding our online, by undertaking, I should say, our online learning guides, reading our modules, and ensuring that you are taking in this knowledge to gain a good insight into what's going on in industry and how you can actually develop yourself, enhancing yourself, listening to podcasts whilst utilizing all of our resources. This is relevant information, and as I said, it enhances and enables you as students to explore, to be more able to gain informed insights into yourself and how you can map your skills and attributes to the demands of industry. Within our team, we also have a dedicated team that supports placements and work experience. This team works alongside academia to provide guidance and opportunities as part of the accredited courses. So the next step of our teaching style is to develop. Within this aspect, we encourage and enable students to participate within webinars and workshops to develop their professional and personal skills. We also encourage students to develop by attending group sessions and one-to-one consultations to promote peer-to-peer learning. So that's learning within your group of study with students who are also studying alongside you, whilst discussing personal challenges and concerns to gain solutions or ideas for your next steps. We continuously collaborate with industry to build partnerships to enable students to have access to a vast range of networks through activities and events led and informed by industry and the sectors that take place in industry. This enables all students to be at the forefront of information and competitive in forming opinions and forecasting trends, whilst mapping your abilities, your attributes, and your skills to what the industry demands. The final step of our teaching style is practice. So the practice element enables students to engage within annual events like the Careers Fair, Jobs Fair, and the Enterprise Challenge. But we will speak about these annual events a little bit later. Students can be part of a community of peers as well as industry, building their networks. We also facilitate projects and competitions presented to us by industry, encouraging and enabling you as students to enter industry-led initiatives. So now what we're going to touch on now are our resources and where you can find our modules, where you can find out more information about what we do and the resources that's available to you. So when you go onto Moodle, you will come to your home page, your normal page. You'll see a tile which is entitled LCF Graduate Features. By clicking on this tile on your dashboard, you will end up at our landing page, which is the page you currently see in front of you. So within this page, you will be informed firstly of what we've got happening that week or up and coming events and activities that we're encouraging and enable students to engage with. You've also got our podcasts, which feature on the LCF SoundCloud, which you're able to listen to, our series called Careers in Fashion. And then you've got additional tiles, which will enable you to dial into the different sectors or the different parts of our department, whether that be from a careers perspective, whether that be from enterprise perspective, or even from a placement perspective too. So these tiles are what you should be navigating in order to engage with us, to book onto our sessions, to book to come and see us in a one-to-one or consultation or group session, or even just to gain an understanding of insights of guides and modules that you can also undertake. So speaking of the different types of journeys that you do have whilst you are studying and throughout your career, what I'm now going to do is walk you through a typical careers journey of a student who studies with us at LCF. So as I said previously, we've got the learn, develop and practice. The learn element is all about exploring and enhancing and researching. From a career capacity, that would involve you accessing our learning guides on the Moodle page I just showed you, walking through our graduate futures canvases, which one of my colleagues will go into a little bit more, and being able to enhance what you already had with that research. You've then got the development aspect or the development strand. So with regards to developing, that is all about you as a student expanding your knowledge and skills by engaging with webinars, joining our activities, listening to podcasts, and also taking part in our group sessions or consultations. And then lastly, we've got the practice element, which is where you essentially put into practice what you've learned and developed by utilizing those skills and attributes with the use of LCF My Jobs, which is our exclusive job board, which one of my colleagues will go into a little bit more in the rest of the presentation. You can also access the Ual Career Centre, which again has a wealth of resources which complements what we do at Graduate Futures, and also visiting the Careers Fair, or one of our careers events, which will happen throughout the year. So you're able to, as I said previously, put into practice what you've learned and developed to secure you an opportunity within industry. I'm now going to hand over to my colleague, Morella, who will continue.
Thank you, Michelle. So let's continue with the enterprise journey regarding the learn, develop, and practice offers from us at Graduate Futures. So if you are interested in starting a business or becoming a freelancer or a consultant, you're going to tap into the enterprise journey, starting with the learn stage, where you can access our guides. So we have guides ranging from how to start a business, how to become a freelancer, how to undertake market research, the basics of business finance, guides about marketing, branding, and so on. Then you're going to have a look at our Graduate Futures canvases, and especially the 3 key enterprise canvas: the ideation canvas, the startup canvas, and the freelancer canvas, okay? Then moving on to the develop stage, you're going to attend our webinars and workshops. We're going to break down all the stages of running a business or starting your freelance service on our webinars and workshops. Same with our podcasts. You can listen to podcasts regarding the freelancer journey, the disruptive business models, how to improve your online presence on social media. So we have alumni and industry players coming to talk to us on our podcasts. So make sure that you allocate some time to listen to them. And of course, come to our group sessions and our one-to-one consultations. We're going to talk a little bit about how you can book the sessions in a moment, but they are all designed to give you the opportunity to not just learn, but also to share your experience, to ask questions, to interact with your own colleagues from other LCF courses, but also with industry professionals, okay? And finally, speaking about interacting with industry professionals, the practice stage of your enterprise journey is where you're going to put into action everything that you are learning and developing by participating in our events, such as the creative hacks that we run with other colleges inside UAL, but also externally. We also offer support to all competitions, such as the Mayor's competition, the Deutsche Bank Awards, and mainly our own LCF Enterprise Challenge that we're going to talk again in detail in a minute, okay? So, since we are talking about our canvases, you're probably thinking, wow, okay, so what is a canvas? They are a great template for you to brainstorm and organize ideas about different areas. So you can download them on our Moodle page, as Michelle just showed to you, and use them to map your plan of action, okay? So as I said, we have both careers, enterprise, but also canvas targets at your personal development, such as the the brand new canvas, which is showing here on the screen for you. It's a great tool to help you prepare to communicate your strengths, your skills, and your talents, and help you plan your next steps in both your personal and professional development, okay? So make sure to take your time to download these and other canvas on our Moodle page. So, since Michelle mentioned the LCF My Jobs, let's see how can you access and how can you utilize the platform. So the LCF My Jobs is an exclusive platform to LCF students and a great tool for you to look up for opportunities during and after your course, because even after you graduate, even after you finish your LCF course, you can still have an account. So make sure to go over there. We're gonna leave the link on the chat box, create an account and check it regularly, okay? It's a great opportunity to check for paid internships, paid freelancer opportunities, and roles that you can apply and hopefully be successful, okay? So moving on to other resources that we offer here at Graduate Futures, the podcast under the SoundCloud platform. As Michelle mentioned, you're going to find a link on the top of the Moodle landing page. We also offer you free access to LinkedIn Learning to improve your skills. If you are looking to build a portfolio, you can use the UAL portfolio page to build your portfolio, and it's a great window for people from all other colleges to look at your portfolio, so you can exchange contacts over there as well. And if you are looking to improve your skills, for example, the adult package, you can tap into our online resource booking system and book yourself to do a course on a specific software, okay? So again, all the links will be on the chat box. Now, let's talk about how you can tap into the ULL careers and employability. Okay, so besides all the LCF Graduate Futures resources that we are talking here, as an ULL student, you can also benefit from these resources. So the first one is the Creative Attributes Framework, okay, as we call here the MyCAF. And what is the MyCAF? It's a self-reflecting assessment for you to identify your strengths and weaknesses in line with our Canvas questionnaires. Okay, so the MyCAF is an amazing tool for you to develop ethical qualities, abilities, and behaviors to prepare for the future. Okay, it's both a professional and personal tool that connects what you learn here at London College of Fashion with your professional practice. So you can engage directly with the Creative Attributes Framework by accessing the online module. Again, the link will be on the chat box, but you can also access through Moodle. And when you access the page, you're going to answer a questionnaire based on the 9 creative attributes proposed. And in the end, you can download a report and draw an action plan for your career and enterprise ambitions. So besides MyCAF, we also have other tools to help you out. On the careers specific side of things, as an ULL student, you can tap into one-to-one advice. You can also check paid jobs and paid internship opportunities, our mentoring programs, other student-led initiatives. And on the enterprise side, if you are interested in self-employment, you can tap into paid freelance opportunities. If you are an international student, wants to remain in the UK after you graduate by starting your own business, you can have support with the startup visa application. UOL also run a competition called the Creative Enterprise Awards, open to all current students and graduates. And also, if you run a business and you are looking for business support, they run an accelerator program, okay? Also, if you are selling a product, you have an opportunity to not only exhibit your product, but also sell at the Not Just a Shop in High Holborn. And if you are looking for some advice on intellectual property, so how to protect your ideas, your creations, we also have the intellectual property support. Okay, so make sure to tap into this offer and remember that even after you graduate, even after you are 5 years from your graduation, you can still tap into the UOL careers and employability. And now let's go into the graduate future support in more detail. So if you are interested in booking an appointment with us, as Michelle showed on the Moodle page, right away you're going to see links to book an appointment. Whether you are looking for a placement, one-to-one, or a careers consultation or an enterprise consultation, you can check the link on Moodle. Please read the requirements and book the session according to your needs, okay? As a reminder, all of our sessions along with our webinars and workshops, are available on a first come, first served basis. So if you are interested, don't delay. Book as soon as you see the notification. Some booking requirements for our one-to-one sessions. If you are going to attend a consultation, make sure to complete a canvas relevant to your consultation, whether it's a careers or an enterprise consultation, before attending the session, and bring the canvas with you because it will make the most of your session. If you are booking a careers consultation or a placement one-to-one, it's mandatory to complete the effective CVs and cover letter online module. So do the module first and then book the session. We ask you to come on time to our consultation so you can use the whole of your 45 minutes if you are coming to an enterprise or careers consultation, or 30 minutes if you're coming to a placement consultation. And if something happens and you can't come to the consultation, please cancel. You're going to receive the link for your consultation, whether it's an online or in-person consultation. So make sure if you need to change your timing or if you need to cancel, get in touch with us. You have the link on Moodle to cancel your appointment so you can free the slot to other students, okay? So let's have a quick look on the group sessions that we are offering for this term 1. And the group sessions are a great interactive peer-to-peer learning opportunity. If you are interested in starting your own business or becoming a freelancer, these are the sessions that we are offering. So from market research to branding, value proposition, marketing, sales and communication, business modeling, freelance modeling, how to develop your business idea, how to map your business model, how to create a strategy for your business. You can tap to one or all of these sessions according to your needs. We have a policy to only have 10 people per session. So again, if you are interested, don't delay. Book at your earliest convenience. And come prepared to ask questions, to learn, but mainly to share experiences, to have a real peer-to-peer learning experience, okay? So now I'm going to hand over to Michelle again, and she will talk about our upcoming event.
Thank you, Mirella. Okay, so what I'm now going to speak to you about is mainly the practice element of our department or our teaching style, which will enable you to, as I said previously, build community amongst yourself as students and your peers, as well as with industry, and also enhance your networking abilities, and ultimately securing opportunities for your next steps, whether that be getting a job or actually your ambitions to start your own business or be a freelancer. So our events. So this is the final stages, as I said before, with regards to our learn, develop and practice through your personal development journey. Our events will enable you to interact with industry guests through careers events, and also enable students to put into practice what they have learned and developed with the other elements of our teaching style. Our practice provision, this practice provision will include jobs fair and careers conferences within a hybrid form to ensure access to all students whilst enabling everyone to network on an international platform and gain meaningful and relevant insights into industry. This is a great opportunity for you as students to showcase your abilities and source opportunities to get, as I said before, to your intended destination or make ways towards your next steps. So we have as part of our package, if you like, as part of our provision, events for you to engage in within Graduate Futures. You're informed of this with our What's On, which is sent out to you via email, and also all this information is available to you on our Moodle page as well. So I'm just going to hand over to Asia now, who's going to speak about the events from an enterprise capacity.
Thanks, Michelle. So yeah, let's go over the enterprise activities and events for the upcoming academic year. So these events, like Michelle similarly said just a second ago, they aim to help you put what you've learned and developed into practice. And this is through our body of resources, such as kind of the guides, the canvases, podcasts, webinars, workshops, all of the amazing things that we've been putting together for the past few years, and we will be putting together for this upcoming year as well. So what we do is we create really secure and welcoming environments for our events and activities to really help you build on your abilities to not only have ideas, but make them happen. And we'll do this by creating experiences that really help to shape those creative attributes that Mirella was speaking about, such as connectivity, proactivity, and self-efficacy. So starting off, we have a Ual Creative Hack that we've been running for the past few years, and this brings together all 6 colleges from within UAL. So that includes London College of Fashion, London College of Communication, Central St Martin's, and Chelsea, Camberwell, and Wimbledon colleges. So what students do at this event is they form teams and they work on key challenges that we are currently facing within society. So they're not just fashion specific, but you can create a solution for the fashion industry if you wanted to. But there are different themes that focus on everything from sustainability to health and wellness, all the way through to tech. So you can find something that really kind of piques your interest, your area of practice. We also have a hackathon, which we run with other London universities. And we think that this is a really great opportunity to network with other students from different fields and from different areas of practice, and really grow your community outside of UAL as well. So we're creating events that facilitate both those kind of connections that you can make from within UAL's university, but also from within kind of London and the other universities within our network. We also have a venture crawl that we've been doing for the past few years, and hopefully this year we'll be able to do it in person. It's been virtual for the past few years because of COVID, but what we do here is we hire a bus and we fill it with students, and we go around London and we really explore the entrepreneurial ecosystem within the city. So this is a really immersive day that culminates in a pitching and networking evening with the other London universities as well. And we also want to create a really strong pipeline for students who have their own enterprise ideas through into industry. So we do that by supporting you to kind of apply for different competitions that we see as really pertinent and important. So the Mayor's Entrepreneur Competition is a really great one, for example. So we have group sessions that we run intermittently throughout the year to help with these applications, to make sure that that pipeline, like I said, is as strong as possible to help you launch a business that is viable and desirable and feasible. So last year we had finalists in the Creative Awards, Sages, who I'm going to talk about in a few minutes because they were the first place winners in our Enterprise Challenge. And the year before that, we also had an LCF business who came first place for the Creative Awards, which was Fiber Labs. So we have a really strong kind of relationship with the Mayor's competition. We try and make sure that we know what the criteria is and that we're developing students and their applications in a way that they're going to be set up for success. So we really kind of try and embed that into our services when we're doing our one-to-ones and our group sessions to make sure that that pipeline, like I said, is as strong as it can be so you can succeed once you're going out into industry. So speaking about Sages and kind of how they came first in the Enterprise Challenge this academic year, I'm going to talk a bit more about that and contextualize what that competition is. So what we do is it's a flagship competition for the enterprise team within Graduate Futures, and it awards prize money, support and mentoring to LCF student entrepreneurs with viable and innovative ideas. So the annual event finishes every June after an open call for submissions to all LCF students across every year group for ideas for an innovative product or service that they feel can make a real difference to a specific community, client or consumer group. So this year we had Sages, which are a company which focus on creating natural dyes from food waste products. So really trying to solve an important problem within the supply chain and fashion. And what they did is they were able to win an amazing package that we put together, and we spent a lot of time putting together to make sure that it was going to create kind of the best impact for them as they kind of took their business through and developed it. So they got funding from Shaftesbury PLC, they got coaching support from Sister London PR, they got promotion opportunities from Eyes on Talents, which is a really great platform to promote your work and your portfolio to people really great thought leaders within the fashion industry. They got mentoring from the Ual Group, which is an agency which represents such amazing talent within the creative industries, from hairdressers to set designers to makeup artists to models. And they also got a year's membership to Soho Friends and Soho Works. If you know Soho House, they're an amazing membership group for creatives all around the world. So that's an amazing community for them to be a part of now. And they also got fast tracked to the Ual Creative Enterprise Awards that we spoke about a bit earlier on, which kind of sits within the Ual Careers and Employability team, the central team there that also helps support students, whether they want to get careers, become employed or start their own businesses. But also what we were able to do is give the second, third, fourth and fifth places money and to fund their ideas and take that forward too. So it wasn't just about the first place winners. We were able to provide that support and that kind of money to fund their businesses all the way from first place to fifth place. Because ultimately, our goal is to enable students to make those ideas happen and make sure that our challenge really reflects that, because that's the ethos of what we do. So to exemplify the level of industry engagement as well that we bring into our enterprise challenge, this is a photo of the final pitch day with our winners, Emily and Alice from Sages. So the final pitching event took place at Soho Works 180 House in front of guests from industry and from within UAL. The finalists pitched their ideas for 5 minutes at a time. And again, the judges came from companies such as the Ual Group, Halicion, Soho Works, and Shaftesbury, as well as from within LCF as well. So this year, we are back with the Enterprise Challenge for 2023. Again, it's open to all current LCF students. And what we really do is put out a challenge where you will maybe work alone or maybe work in teams to create and showcase an innovative idea or product or a service that can make a real difference, again, to that specific community, client or consumer group of your choice. And again, this is a great opportunity to develop your idea with specialist support and feedback. You can join our group sessions for support with honing your idea. We'll be running those regularly to help again with that pipeline through to competitions to make sure that your idea can be communicated and articulated as well as possible. To find out more about the competition, we're actually doing our launch event on Wednesday, the 16th of November in the JPS RHE space. So definitely keep an eye out for that when it's promoted, book into that and join that event, because we'll be going through the different the criteria that we'll be looking for applications, what the package will be for the winners and who the judges will be as well. So we're going to do a whole evening there where you can come together and also potentially meet other students who are interested in starting their own businesses and have a bit of a network as well. So definitely put that in your diary and keep an eye out for that. So hopefully you have a clear idea now of Graduate Futures and the services and the touch points that you can engage with throughout the careers, enterprise, freelancing, and even placements journey. What we're going to do is we have a Discord channel later on today running from 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. where you can ask us Graduate Futures consultants any questions that you have. Myself, Morella and Michelle will be taking turns on the Discord platform to sit there and host that. So you can come ask us any questions you might have from the presentation or just kind of in general about our services and what we do. So you have a link there, and I'm sure the link we put in the chat, so you can again after lunch come back with all of those questions and really kind of maybe get to know us a bit more. What we're going to do now is we have some amazing alumni guest speakers. Oh, actually, I'm going to go over next steps first. So now that you've heard all about our services, you know who Graduate Futures are, you know about the resources that we have, all of the different touch points where you can engage with us. I think it's really important that we're really clear on kind of what your next steps could be, because we realize that you might be thrown a lot of information and you might be thinking, okay, what do I do next? So what we recommend is that you explore our Graduate Futures Moodle page that Michelle went through in her slides. So have a look at that. Again, there's so many resources, there's so many ways that you can engage with us, there's so many bits of information through our guides and our canvases that you can have a look at. So definitely explore that, because again, it's up for you to kind of think about where you want to be in terms of employability, and think about how you want to curate that journey for yourself and what resources are going to be important to you and when. Definitely create an account on LCF My Jobs and the UAL Career Centre. They're amazing resources for all of our students, so definitely make the most of them. Complete a canvas, have a look at the effective CVs and cover letter modules and read a guide. Tap into those resources. We create them for you. We keep them up to date. We make sure that they're really reflective of what's going on in the industry at any given time. So definitely have a look at them and have a think about how those, again, feed into your personal and professional development with employability or starting your own business or freelance practice. Book an individual appointment or group session. Come and kind of chat to us as consultants about your ideas, about where it is that you want to be, and really start to engage with us and each other. The group sessions, as Mirella said, are great opportunities to get to know your peers and get to kind of understand where you're at. You all have similar aspirations, you want to do well, and just really start to have those conversations and kind of share that practice when it comes to your learning. We think it's a really great opportunity for you. And start to attend our webinars, workshops and events throughout the year. So like myself and Michelle have said, there's so many great events, both on enterprise and careers, that you can start to engage with. But again, we have webinars that we're bringing out through the academic year, and new workshops as well that are really kind of topic specific and pertinent to what's going on in the industry and what we're seeing the needs are for the students. So these are the next steps that we would recommend. So definitely have a look at the Moodle page and see where you can be, and come to the Discord channel if you have any questions or you're unsure about anything at the moment. Before we finish, like I said, we have some alumni speakers who are going to help contextualize our service and provide some insights into their own experiences that they've had with Graduate Futures. Again, it's all well and good for us, the Graduate Futures team, to sit here and talk about how amazing we are and all of the great things that we do, but we think that coming from actual alumni who've been through the process, they've been through that pipeline of careers through an enterprise and placements, to really talk about what that meant to them and kind of where they were, what their journeys were, and how they've ended up in the careers that they wanted or with the roles that they wanted because of how they engaged with us as a service. So I think first up we have Mulshri, who's going to talk for 15 minutes about her journey and her experience with Graduate Futures. So if Mulshri, you want to come online.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to just pull up my slides in a second. Perfect. Is my screen visible to everybody?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Francis, Michelle, Mirella, and Asia. It's learn, develop, and practice. I think that's a beautiful way to put together the framework for what Graduate Futures has to offer. And thank you for inviting me to share my journey with Graduate Futures. Good morning, everybody. My name is Mulshri, aka Molly. I did MA Fashion Futures a couple of years back. And before we dive in, a little bit about giving you context of who I am. I have worked in fashion retail marketing in India for many years before I came back to college to do this master's. And currently, I run my own independent consulting practice, working with a cluster of small brands and startups across brand strategy, content, and business development. So let's get started. So when I was asked to kind of talk about my experiences with Graduate Futures, I decided to kind of divide it into 4 stages. As you can see, I've taken an analogy of a flight. So this is how we're going to sort of go through this presentation. So Yes, the takeoff stage, you arrive at the best fashion college in the world. There are hopes, excitement, ambitions, and fears. That's me with a few of my other classmates. I think a week or 10 days into the course, with lots of questions on our mind. And if you are an international student in the audience like me, it was a new city, new country, new continent. And my question was, okay, I'm here to do the master's, but in terms of my career, like where do I begin? Who do I meet in the city? Where can I find my internships? So yeah, so that was the starting point. And at this stage, when you meet the Graduate Futures team, I have a few tips and tricks which kind of worked for me, and hopefully they will for you. At this stage, do set your engagement goal, because from what you've seen in the presentation today, there's so much on offer and it's all up for grabs. It's up to you to kind of plan a bit, strategize a bit before you get in, because you could be doing, you could have various goals in life, right? You could be looking to start your own business. You could be looking to do an internship or an industry project, or you just want to build your personal brand. Going with certain goals, and it'll help the advisors kind of give you the right direction you might need to take. But at the same time, this is a mantra that I kind of live by till date: stay open to serendipity, because it's a very exciting ride here at LCF and opportunities can show up at any time. For me personally, I thought coming in, I want to, get a full-time job at the end of my MA, but here I am consulting with a bunch of exciting new brands doing a lot of exciting things in the sustainability space. So yeah, stay open to opportunities. So now we are in phase 2. You're in the midst of it, like either you've started the course or you've come back in your second or third year. Time does fly by at LCF, as you will find out, or you're already in the process of it. I started my interaction with Graduate Futures through one-to-one consults. It's really important to kind of go and meet them. And they're lovely people, always available, always willing to kind of talk to you. And it's all about personalized advice, because at the end of the day, all of us are coming from different parts of the world. Someone's into buying, someone's marketing, design, and they help you kind of build out a career pathway from day one. I also did a few round of CV checks, which was very helpful in contextualizing my CV. I mean, I'd worked in the industry for a while, so I was a mature student, but contextualizing it for the London market, that was really helpful. And this was one of my favorite parts of the Graduate Futures offering, the workshops, because they literally build out each component of a business into a workshop. Now, whether it is marketing, cash flows, intellectual property, or the business model canvas, which Mirella spoke about some time back. The good thing about these workshops is that you've got these experts who come in and they talk to you in a very easy, like the whole presentation format is very easy to understand. And I highly recommend, whether you are a design student or a marketing student or whoever, attend these workshops, because at the end of the day, it gives you a 360 picture of the way a fashion business is run. And they were really helpful. So yeah, lots of networking to do through the year, lots of events happen. So the job fair at JPS, the career fair that the speaker spoke about earlier, I attended it in my time. You had a variety of companies coming all the way from, John Lewis to H&M. They come and talk to you about the culture they have at their companies. You can talk to the, company representatives, and they tell you what they're looking for in candidates. Great opportunity to meet and greet with the people who you might eventually be working with. Expert panels on different discussions. Again, industry experts coming in to LCF and sharing their knowledge and experience. Great way to network with them. And the London Venture Crawl, which Asia referred to a while back. This was me. I think this was the first venture crawl that happened. Super exciting day. All of us packed into a bus, making our way through different spots in the city. I mean, on one day we went all the way from an Amazon Fashions office, meeting up the people there, and then to a startup called HelloFresh, which obviously today is a much bigger company. They do delivery boxes for meal kits. We met startups, we met experts. There's so much to do, and for anybody in the audience who's looking to start their own business, this is a great way to be introduced to the buzzing entrepreneurial scene that London has to offer. Industry collaborations also go further up into things like hackathons and boot camps. I did a boot camp which lasted about 4 to 5 days, full day, hardcore workshops, again with industry experts, taking us through different components of launching a business. This was, again, really helpful for all of us. So yeah, at this stage, I mean, clearly, as you would have imagined, like attend as many sessions as you can. They're all up for grabs. And all of the sessions are very carefully thought through in terms of what you can get out of them. And please be proactive and network with the team. I mean, they're there to help. They're there for us to succeed. But it's up to you to reach out, take the first step and, get yourself heard, get yourself seen. And while you are at college, and I know a lot of you are already possibly doing it, start building your public profile. I just made a note of something called as a UL portfolio, which is a new feature I see. It wasn't around when we were there. But, like whether you, launch your portfolio, launch yourself on Instagram or like launch your website or start a newsletter. Do that, because when you're ready to go out in the market, whether it's your employer or maybe an investor who's looking to invest in your business, it's important to have a public profile in the digital arena. So yeah, and these guys have great workshops around that as well. Yes, so now, okay, by the way, all the images you see in this presentation I've sourced from the LCF site. These are all artworks from former students. And this one kind of really explains how I was. Like I came in a bit like unsure of where life was taking me. And towards the end of the course, it was almost like showtime. I had to go out and show to the world what I'm all about. And at this stage, I have to admit, Graduate Futures, the team, Francis, Tim, I mean, they were really, really helpful in terms of refining my value proposition, both personal, my personality, who I am, and my business. And I say that because at that point in time, I was very clear I wanted to work with fashion tech startups who work on sustainability solutions. And my background was marketing. So this was almost like a new arena that was opening up around sustainable marketing comms. And I wasn't quite sure how to talk about it. So what you see here is actually a slide from my pitch deck. And this, in a few lines, I tell the world what I can offer to the clients. And yeah, full marks to Graduate Futures for helping me kind of be very clear and precise, tell your own story with conviction. And also, if the international students here would be looking at visa support, so the startup visa is something that the university supports. I took one-to-one consultations with the team and the experts here on, reworking my business plan, pitch practice. A lot of these things are new for us, like getting out there and presenting your business. Really helped me articulate my clarity. And as you can see, I did get the visa, which is why I'm still sitting in London as we speak. So yeah, super, super helpful. So when you're ready to now transition into industry, this is obviously a few months or years away for you, start looking at consolidating your experiences, the course that you've done, the college. I mean, you're interacting with 5 other colleges under UAL. London has so much to offer in terms of events and experiences and all the stuff that you do, through Graduate Futures. Talk to them and define your value proposition and who you are and what you stand for, because it is a competitive market out there and you want the best for yourself. And refine your pitch for the stream you finally choose. So it's very clearly, I like the way, Graduate Futures defines there's a path for if you're looking to get employed, if you want to get a job, if you want to start a business, or if you want to become a consultant like me. Just refine your pitch, the elevator pitch that you might have. And of course, have patience. If things don't happen overnight, but if you stay persistent, they genuinely will. So yeah, and of course now I'm out of the system, but my conversation still continues, and the onus is always on you. You have to make sure that you get the best out of what Graduate Futures as a offer, as a proposition has to offer. So I'm part of the Founders Club. It's a community of entrepreneurs who coming out of LCF. I attend these founder breakfasts. This is one from Jan this year. It was a session on IP protection. So we had lawyer experts and of course designers come in and talk about the issues here, etc. And then you get to meet other founders from LCF and share experiences. Yeah, so this was quite interesting. And then of course, at any point in time, you have sessions you can book in with panel of experts. How to pitch, how should I price my product, something to do with marketing, how should I go about freelancing. So those sessions are available to me as an alumni, and I've actually derived a lot of value from them. And yes, of course, COVID-19 also happened. And that was a time when, I literally felt like the world was falling. And I was in touch with the Graduate Futures team, and they really helped me because I wanted to look at, different ways of conducting the consulting practice, maybe look at non-fashion clients. So staying in touch helped because they know who I am and what my journey has been. So the notes and inputs I got were helpful. They also held webinars for us, in terms of like cash flows and all the other relevant topics that would be of help to, let's say, a consultant or a startup during lockdown. And yes, this is the most important. Please make sure, look at this. And it's about access to opportunities because it's an information funnel that continues to flow. And I thought, what better way than showing a screenshot of my inbox with a lot of emails that I get from Mirella. And you see the kind of opportunities that still come to you just because you've been through LCF and you have partnered with Graduate Futures. Whether it's funding, and a lot of these things you don't get to know because if you're on your own, but it's through the power of network and the access that LCF has to many places. So job alerts, trade events. I think there's a Christmas pop-up that's happening later this year. So if you're a brand and you want to showcase your product, you can be part of that pop-up just because Graduate Futures is one of the sponsors of the event. Okay, so I think best of three is a good way to recap all that I've said so far. It's going to be a crazy and fun ride through the tenure that you have at LCF. And a lot of things will change. But for me, the Graduate Futures team was the constant. And they kind of helped me navigate my way forward. And please make them your partner because they are here to help. They want you to succeed. They wanted me to succeed. And I love the fact they call spade a spade. They're a very reliable sounding board. And they gave me the feedback that I needed and I acted on it. And learn, develop, and practice. That's pretty much how it goes. Thank you so much and happy to take on questions later.
Thank you so much, Molly. I think now we have Georgie coming on to talk about her experience of Grad Futures. But yeah, thank you, Molly. That was a great presentation. So insightful. Hi, Georgie.
Hi, can you see me and hear me?
Yeah, we can see you and hear you.
Great. I'll pop up my presentation. Aisha, how long would you like me to take? Like 10 minutes or something like that?
We've got 10 to 15 minutes, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So hi, everyone. Thanks for having me and a big welcome. I thought that was a great presentation and it was a really nice overview of just all the different ways that Graduate Futures provide this extra support. My presentation is going to be quite simple. It's a few slides and it's just going to talk you through, I guess, my thought process on where I've needed support. And I'm currently working as a creative producer. So that's a role that's new to me. And I guess how that's come about and how I found what I needed in terms of my career. So hello, my name's Georgie. I'm Irish. I'm 30 years old. I'm living in London and I completed my master's last September, which was a fashion entrepreneurship and innovation. I'll walk you through these slides now. I do just want to add that I know when I was sitting here hearing about Graduate Futures and all the different facilities that LCF have at the very start of my course, it's a little overwhelming. I remember how full my inbox is with all these different things. And I think it's really understandable that it can be kind of hard to get your head around exactly what's going to be helpful when. And in some ways, you don't really have to today. You can just kind of pick out a few bits that might be of interest to you and get the ball rolling. One kind of thing that I hadn't written in my presentation, but I did really want to add was just how lovely the team are. Like every single person, Asia, Tahina, Michelle, Carmel, every single person that you talk to from the team are so supportive. They've given me so much time, way over and above than I've ever expected. And you can make a friend in the team and stay in touch. And so you might need something this month and then in 2 months' time, you might cover your CV, and then 6 months later, a job comes up and you can go back, and then 8 months later, and that kind of thing. So you don't have to take it all in at once. You can just see what you need, but just bear in mind that it is a really welcoming team, and that it's going to really pay you dividends. It's going to be really beneficial if you can, yeah, make a friend in the team, which is very easy. So to begin, this page, so basically this is broken into past, present, and future. So just 3 simple slides. This chart essentially looks at what I've done before and where it satisfied me and didn't satisfy me. Essentially, I wanted to review, with the benefit of hindsight, what I wanted versus what I was getting in different roles I've had in the past. I know some people who are listening maybe have never worked in fashion or anything like that, and that's totally fine. And I think this kind of thing is still really applicable in terms of anything you've done, whether it's a project, an essay you wrote, something you liked that you think you might like to work in that area. I think, again, there's so much information to take in college, but you can actually, I'm really interested in wellness, and I think you can just think about how you want to feel in work. Do you want to feel like you really communicate with people? Do you want to feel like you're really creative and have creative freedom? Do you want to feel secure and like it's a very reliable, structured system? Those kind of questions are really helpful to ask yourself. It's a huge industry, and I think I used to hear a lot when I was kind of starting out, even when I was like 15 and I told people I wanted to work in fashion. I used to hear a lot about just getting a foot in the door, which is true. But if I could leave you with one thought today, it would be what door? Because this Graduate Futures team is essentially your key to all the doors, and you need to think about what, you know, and the last presentation mentioned a goal, and, you know, we don't always know exactly what we want. Sometimes it's just maybe what we're interested in trying this summer, and that's fine. But there is such a variety of opportunities out there, and it is an opportunity now to think about what you want from your work and how you can get it. So this is kind of my past. I did an undergraduate degree in fashion and history of art, so kind of creative and academic. And then I worked as a production manager. I worked as a designer in luxury brands and commercial brands. And so I came to LCF as a mature student after all of this, and wanting to have a bit of a career pivot. One of the things I never had was work-life balance. I used to be in work at 5 a.m. before Fashion Week, which was really fun when I was like much younger, and not so much fun when I started to think about my 30s and having a family and things like that. So although those things might seem really far away, I think having a little think about what you're interested in is huge. Like, it's your opportunity to really enjoy the process of learning and thinking about what you want from your future. I wish I'd known more. Like, I wish I'd known how in a big fashion company, a merchandiser isn't just a visual merchandiser. It's someone who works with the designer to plan the collection for the season, those kind of things. So I think it's just a really important time to ask questions for everyone around you and yourself of what you'd like. They say that if you have 5 coffees with different people just to pick their brain on what they're interested in, usually something comes from one, whether that's a useful connection and someone who maybe knows about an internship opportunity, really valuable portfolio advice, etc., etc. So yeah, this is that time, and I'll wrap up this past section soon. But just briefly, kind of the questions behind this were, why a master's? I really wanted to be pushed and to do something at the next level. And I wanted to find something that ticked more boxes that I want. And I knew that I was interested in working in a career that felt like I could really grow, and interested in having my own business in the future. And I think some of the reasons that those are some of the reasons I did the master's, but Graduate Futures really helped me achieve those goals towards the future. Like, I was concerned about, being paid well in the industry, which I wasn't always. There's lots of free internships. There's lots of different opportunities for low pay, which are amazing when you just want to work somewhere. But as the years go by, you start to think about pension and feeling financially secure. It's such a huge deal to have a team of people who you can stay in touch with over the years and talk to about like negotiating salary and things like that. So this is the opportunity to think about what the dream is. So I'll switch over to the journey. This is essentially the touch points and benefits of where I connected with Graduate Futures, which will be different for everyone. Basically, whenever a bit of backup was needed, I was in touch with Graduate Futures, which takes loads of different forms, whether it's appointments, whether it's meeting with recruiters, etc., etc. You'll hear so many things said, but as you do go to that website or keep an eye on the emails, different things will come up that suit you and kind of get the ball rolling. So yeah, I was in touch when I was thinking about representing myself. Early on, I spoke to a few recruiters about roles, which were all really amazing, experienced professional recruiters in the fashion industry that LCF were able to put us in touch with, whether it was like someone at Bottega Veneta who knew all about design roles, to people from Nike who are really experienced in much more commercial roles with like a really interesting career path. Like all of those opportunities to ask questions were amazing. I worked on my CV website. I do think websites really important, and I'm just going to pop into the chat after this a website of one of my best friends who's a fashion designer, and she's kind of moved towards marketing, but it's just a personal website with a CV. It's really simple and it's excellent. I thought it might be an interesting example. So yeah, you've got here masters. You can read it here, reviewing the website, pitch practice, searching for jobs, interview preparation, negotiating salary, how to develop in a role, all of those things. And I mean, like more than what you would expect. Like Tahina calling me on a Sunday evening to make sure I was clear on the questions for my interview the next morning. It really is a team that you can tap into. Tucked in there is the Entrepreneurial Support, which, you know, what I'm speaking about today is more in my career, but I do have a startup that I worked on with my master's. I won a Creative Enterprise Award for £5,000, which is an amazing bursary to begin a business. I also got a scholarship for £10,000 for the tuition for my master's, which if I hadn't got that, I wouldn't have financially been able to attend the university. So there is amazing services in there. Although it's a lot to take in, it is really beneficial. And under finding a job, again, like that's the opportunity to talk about salary, things that I would have never thought about at the start of my career, like asking if there's healthcare, and if there isn't, could they provide healthcare? Is there a pension? Is there shares? Do they do time off in lieu? These really important elements of employment, and that's what Graduate Futures is about. So essentially, where I'm at now is feeling a lot more competent and confident in interviewing, in being able to build my future as a graduate, and that means that I can always go back to the team. I mean, the literal touch points that I engaged with were group sessions with recruiters, individual meetings with recruiters, enterprise sessions, competition pitch preparation, interview prep, pitching, and I think it is a team that you can just email and ask for help. I think my career will have been a little organic in its pattern. It's a little squiggly in jumping from academic side to creative side and back again. And I think that's okay. And that's becoming more and more popular, that there is room to experiment. And it also takes some really careful communication to explain to a potential employer why your experience is relevant, even if it's not the same role. And that requires confidence to apply for things and to really make sure that you explain your experience well. And so what I've come to now as a role, when I first came out of my master's, I was a junior producer, and I've recently switched role to be a creative producer, which for me now, I think I'm ticking that satisfaction box. It's the combination of a creative and someone who's more like a project management and organization and doesn't mind getting their head into a contract and that kind of thing, which really suits me. It gives me an opportunity to spend time during my day researching a visual direction for a photo shoot, while also being on emails and being the point of contact and someone who's really responsible. I had no idea this kind of role existed when I started college, and I wish I did. And I think hopefully it'll be the right thing. I don't know if it will, but at the moment it seems good. And some of the reasons that it seems to suit me well is there's room to develop. I work closely with someone whose job I want to have. I work with someone who I really admire. I think like she's an incredible senior director, and that's kind of a goal, like to work towards her style, her attitude, her work pace, and all of those kind of things, and working towards the compensation and lifestyle I want. So that's the kind of intention behind it, is to find a role that ticks the boxes, and that, I guess, opens up more opportunities for the future. So for me, what's next? I really wanted to make sure that I had a stable base. I'm, a bit older. I'm starting to think about, mortgage contributions and those kind of things that might seem very far away, but I wanted to have the option to start my own business, but also have a skill to fall back on, be able to create the lifestyle of my choice, not work crazy hours, have the options to create a financially secure future, and hopefully the ability to work part-time. So I think my goal would be to work over the next few years would be to move towards working a few days a week in a role that is relatively senior, is well paid, is stable, and then also work on my own stuff on the side. And everyone's different. So that's what's for me. And I'm sure in 10 years' time, things will be different. But I do think you can't overemphasize how valuable it is that if we do stay in touch, then in 10 years' time, when things are different, that I could come back and ask Frances what she thinks. And that's so important. And that's why, like, you guys joining now, it's like we're grateful for every single person in the network. So that's everything from me. My final note was that, this elevates your efforts. I think that is the definition of what the Graduate Future team does. And you can exponentially benefit the work that you put into college by letting it benefit your future by taking advantage of this. So that's everything from me. Please feel free to reach out. I'll pop my LinkedIn in the chat as well. If anyone ever has any questions, I'm always happy to help. And wishing you guys the very best of luck. I hope all your dreams come true. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Georgie. Thanks for sharing. That was so motivational and inspiring. I'm sure those of the students here going to be thinking, going away with a lot of food for thought there. Yeah, so many good tips. And yeah, what Frances said, super proud, super happy for you that you're kind of like on that journey. So thank you. Next we have Chmaya, who's going to do our final alumni presentation. Hi, Chmaya. We can hear you, we can see you. If you want to share your slides.
Yes, I'm just going to see. Can you see them? There you go. Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it. I'll go on mute now.
Perfect. So hi everyone. My name's Chmaya, and I very recently graduated from London College of Fashion. Had my graduation in July, so still very fresh for me. So I guess there's like a relatively different perspective, and maybe one that some of you can relate to, hopefully. So I studied fashion design development at London College of Fashion. I also studied on EDIPS, which is during the enterprise year. So when kind of people go out into the industry and they work for other companies, I actually stayed with LCF and I worked on an enterprise diploma instead. And I worked very closely with Graduate Futures and the enterprise team kind of through the whole journey, especially the last 2 years at uni, and still kind of very close to them. I'm also part of the female founders as well. So yeah, very much an LCF student through and through. So this is a little bit about kind of my journey with LCF, where it started and where I'm at now. So before LCF, I was studying on a foundation art diploma in Southampton, and very much really enjoyed that. And actually, it really prepared me for university. So they kind of prepare you for the independence that you get at uni. And it's something that some people struggle with, but something that actually is really important and has really helped me in my enterprise journey, because they do encourage you to be very independent with your work. And there's something that can be quite foreign to people coming out of school, and not being told kind of everything that you have to do and when to do it and how to do it. Is quite refreshing, but also scary to just kind of be given a project and you just have free reign to do what you want. So that prepared me really well. I was also living on my own, so I also was kind of prepared to cook for myself, look after myself. So that was some kind of help before. But I was also quite uncertain about my future at that point. I had always wanted to go to LCF from a really young age. I think when I was between 10 and 12, I had a next door neighbour that told me that I think it was their niece or something, was going to London College of Fashion to study fashion design. And I remember at that age just being like, wow, I have to do that. That is just my dream. I think the name of London College of Fashion just sounded so exciting at the time. But by the point I was studying on the foundation art diploma, I was so burnt out from A levels and GCSEs, and I kind of just lost my love for fashion and designing and being creative. And it was during my foundation art diploma that I kind of refound that, because they give you so much independence. So I enrolled in 2018, and you can see I took a picture of my my little ID card. I was so excited. So then we get into first year, and first year was really, really exciting. You kind of meet new friends and getting to know all your new tutors, and you get these really exciting kind of technical projects where you get to make things for the first time, and you get the really hands-on skills that you need in fashion to insert zips and how does this fasten, and you get the pattern pieces that put it all together. So you kind of go from being this creative that has no idea kind of what's going on to getting some kind of tangible skills. And then again, moving into second year, I think I felt more confident in my work by that point, because I'd done relatively well in the first year. I had friends at this point. I felt more settled in London. And second year is really where my journey started to really flourish, I'd say. So my first project, as you can see kind of down in the center of the screen, was the first time I explored my enterprise idea. So really quick backstory, I'd met a girl with dwarfism just before I came to uni at LCF, and I can't remember if we specifically spoke about fashion, but it occurred to me that she struggled so much with different things in life, because obviously the world is built for average height people. It's not built for someone who's 4 foot tall. And I remember coming away from the experience, having kind of known her for about a month, and doing a little bit of research about clothing for short stature people, and found that there wasn't anything. So at that point, I had an inkling in my head that I'd love to explore that. So my second year of uni, we did a project with Urban Outfitters, and it was all about equality, diversity and inclusion. And I decided that I was going to make short stature clothing. And I worked with this blogger that I found on Instagram, and that kind of spiraled what was to be my enterprise. I also did a really exciting project we did a Tengri project. I'm not sure if it still happens on the FDD course, but I actually won that. And that was another kind of real, I think, confidence boost in my work. Then we went into lockdown. So that was when I went into my enterprise year. So I spent time working with the enterprise teams and graduate futures teams a lot that year, to build my business. So on EDIPS, we're encouraged to kind of build a business. So my business was clothing for people under 4'10" who had dwarfism. So during that year, I really got to develop that. I released 2 books, and sampled my first collection. And then in that summer, just before final year, I also won the Enterprise Challenge and the Creative Enterprise Awards back to back. So I won £5,000 to put into my business. So the business has been running ever since. Going into final year, my graduate collection was all about clothing for people with dwarfism. And luckily enough, I literally just went to London Fashion Week this weekend with my graduate collection. So I got to make all 10 pieces, and it was amazing. And I don't think I could have done it without the help of the enterprise teams and Graduate Futures, just to have the confidence to do it and to have their backing to apply for different competitions and things like that. So the things that I learned in fashion design development, my particular course, I learned the practical and technical skills that I really needed. Like I said, things like how to put in a zip and how to make a shirt and how to make a blazer, how to make a collar. All of these things have been pivotal in what I do, because I have to understand bodies in so much of what I do. And to understand bodies, I have to also understand how clothing fits and how it might look. So I've really got that knowledge. I also have a real appreciation now of quality fabrics and finishings. Again, something that I had no idea about before, but now when I go into clothing stores, I can really see where the quality is, and it's really helpful with my business as well, to have that appreciation of good quality things, because I want to put out good quality garments and collections. So that knowledge is pivotal. Also learn about the computer aided design and graphic design skills, so I can do all of my technical drawings myself. I can also freelance that out, so that's a bit of extra money. Kind of here and there, I work with other brands to help them with their technical drawings. Definitely something I recommend, because it's something that we learn at UAL and LCF, and it's something that I think we take for granted, having that skill, but it's something that so many people don't have. So that's definitely something that you can do kind of even while you're at uni and when you leave as a freelancer. On the EDIPS course, the thing that I really did learn was about different business models and how that could look for me, and how to take my ideas and make them tangible. So instead of having everything in my head of all these big plans and ideas that could happen, was really kind of planning it out, putting it on paper, doing a design canvas, and really making these things practical. I worked with the Graduate Futures team loads through EDIPS, and they helped me to apply for competitions. They helped me to arrange one-to-one pitching calls for the competitions, and it went on to be really helpful for me. During EDIPS, I also had amazing support from my business coach and my peers on EDIPS. It was something that I think you underestimate when you're going out into the design world. It can be so scary because there's not really any knowledge of how to do it and who gets paid what and what photographers you can use for different things. And to have peers and also coaches to just give you that knowledge is amazing. And during my EDIPS year, and as my business journey developed, I had some issues with some legal things that had happened. Nothing too extreme, but it meant that I needed some advice with some legal agreements, and I would have had no idea where to go. But luckily my business coach could give me some solid advice, and that meant that I could kind of sort that issue out and keep on going. And again, they did also kind of encourage me massively, and also helped me to apply to the Enterprise Challenge, which I went on to win, because at that point I don't think I didn't have massive amount of confidence. I knew that what I was doing was good and I knew that it was needed, but I didn't necessarily understand how much other people would understand it. So to have the backing of EDIPS and their confidence in me was amazing. And the Graduate Futures team kind of in general, I've already kind of spoken about a lot, but the one-to-ones were amazing. I remember having one one-to-one right in the beginning of my business journey about, I need some money, I don't know how to get money to fund this, I'm a student, like how do I do this? And I remember them recommending to reach out to some charities and see how that could work, and off the back of that actually made an amazing partnership, and they went on to help fund the making of a bespoke mannequin. So you do really never know unless you ask, and you kind of make these moves. So I wouldn't have done that without the help of the Grad Futures team. They're just such a positive team to rely on as well in the kind of good and bad times. When things are going great, they're amazing to tell and keep them involved, and they're so supportive. But also when things are a bit tricky, not really sure how to get past a hurdle or financial issues, it's amazing to have them because they've got the resources to help you, and they've got ideas, and they're a positive team to rely on. They're not too harsh, they're not too critical. They're great at giving those kind of creative, tangible ideas that you need. And again, they've helped with applying for competitions and pitching. I did a pitching competition with them, I think maybe, I don't know how long ago it was, maybe 6 months ago. And they also helped with applying to D-Base, which I actually won in, I think it was June or July. I won £15,000 for the business. So again, without them, I don't know what I would have done. It's been pivotal. And in terms of kind of like last advice, as a design student, I don't know if all courses have these, but our course particularly had a technical file. And I really recommend keep on top of that as much as you can, because as soon as your technical file slips, everything else feels like a much bigger task. When I would go home from uni, we would go into uni, have a practical lesson for 4 hours, do some sewing, learn how to do these different things. I would go home and write it all up that night, so I was never behind. And I really recommend that, because I think that was one of the main things that helped me to get through uni. Utilize Graduate Futures one-to-ones and workshops, because there's going to come a time where you almost wish you had that. And although I have graduated and I still go back to Grad Futures, I wish that I would have utilised it slightly earlier in my uni career, I think. I think going off of what I think it was possibly Molly or Georgie said, was building connections on social media for future work. LinkedIn is an amazing place. It's quite tricky to understand sometimes, but your stuff can be seen by people all over the world. And you never know who you're going to meet. And some amazing things have come from people I've met on LinkedIn. Also Instagram, Facebook, kind of get your work out there so people can see it. And just enjoy it. I think some people at uni will leave things to the last minute and then stay up all night for like 3 days in a row, and then they come in and they hand stuff in and they're really stressed, and then they just want to go out drinking, or they just want to sleep for like 2 days, which is fine because lots of uni students do that. But I think that stops you from enjoying it. I didn't do that. I did try and keep on top of my stuff as much as I could, and it meant that I did enjoy it. And I look back on LCF with really fond memories, and I'm like trying my hardest to stay with LCF for as long as I can, because I did enjoy it so much. So definitely just enjoy the process and you'll get much more out of it, I think. But yeah, that's me all finished.
Thank you so much, Shamaya. It's been great to see how your brand has evolved as well over the years. I mean, your Fashion Week show this week was beautiful. So well done on that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And yeah, I really love what you ended with there. This is your dream, live it. I think we all forget that. So thank you again for presenting and sharing your journey. What we have now is 10 minutes for anyone to ask you guys some questions, if you want to stay on for the next 10 minutes. So what we're going to do is have kind of ask the alumni anything, but you can come on and ask some questions about their presentations, about their experiences with Grad Futures. And then what we're going to do later on is, if you have any questions for the Graduate Futures team, myself, Mirella, Michelle, us consultants, then go to the Discord channel that we shared earlier on in the chat, that I can share again now. So yeah, any questions to the alumni, you can ask them now in MS Teams here. But if you want to ask us anything as the Graduate Futures team, go to the Discord channel after lunch at 2:30. So feel free to, I think your mics have been enabled now. So if you have any questions, feel free to put your hand up and come on the mic, or just pop those questions in the chat.
I'll kick off, because it may be that everyone's really sort of like overcome. Molly, I don't know if you want to come online. It's interesting, isn't it? You guys have heard the same mantra over the years. Nothing's changed. We haven't pivoted what we're doing. But I'm just interesting that you sort of alluded to it, some of you. Day one you came in, did you have a sort of sense of direction of travel? If not, were you sort of okay with it? When did the sort of penny drop going, this is what I'm interested in? Yeah, what sort of informed that? Yeah, maybe Molly? I don't know.
Sure, happy to kick off. So I was in a very good, stable job, doing well for myself in a fashion marketing role back in India. And I came to a point when I just wanted to leave the industry because I could not be part of the problem in terms of, the non-unsustainable version in which the industry operates. And I literally found a course 3 months before it was starting. So I think it was just meant to happen. And I landed here, to be honest, without a plan.
Yeah.
And I was probably we were a batch of 16, me and another girl were the only non-design students. I was surrounded by fashion designers. It was my first time at fashion school because I'd worked in fashion, but I'd organically gotten into a job. So plus the fact that you're in a new country, new continent, new culture. So to answer your question, I didn't have a plan, and there was a lot to take in initially. But you came and did a presentation to us literally, I think on the third day or the fourth day of our course starting off. And at that point in time, I think, Graduate Futures was called SET, or, Student Enterprise Team. And it was you and a few other people, but just you coming and talking to us and presenting the opportunities that exist, along with whatever else the course and the college had to offer. I mean, there were suddenly bells ringing across the board in all of us. And we were a bit clueless because sustainability in 2016-17 was still not mainstream, compared to other mainstream courses in the college. So the one-to-one is where, we reached out, me and a bunch of us, we all started coming to you. And I remember our first question was, okay, so where is my space in the scheme of things? Because sustainability marketing did not exist at that point in time. And I remember having those multiple conversations with you, Francis, where you helped me define what I can do with my existing skill set and apply it to this new developing tech and sustainability enabled fashion world. So yeah, it took me a while, but I think what I did was all of us, me and a bunch of my batchmates, we just jumped into all the activities that you were putting out because we started to see value instantly. So initially, yes, a bit of a wobble, but yeah, I think a few months in, we were on a good journey.
No, thanks for that. And actually, I'm just thinking sort of, Georgie and Chimaya, you're similar in steer because you engaged in sort of the enterprise space while you were at sort of university. And Georgie, I'm just thinking you studied MA Entrepreneurship and Innovation, but you're working in industry. And one of the things we're keen as a team to sort of get over is the sort of commonality and between sort of employability and enterprise. And so I'd be interested from your perspective of the sort of enterprise learning, not just Graduate Futures, but on your course as well, how that's informed what you're doing in industry now. Yeah.
Hi. Yeah, I think it's huge. I think I've really, really improved. It shocked me how much I improved. Yesterday, I reviewed my personal master's finance plans of how I'm planning my finances, and I couldn't believe the Excel that I did before I started my master's. Wow, it was impossible to decipher. And I think that all the skills are interchangeable, essentially. So things that I learned in my master's led me to be much better at doing emails and being a much clearer communicator in the workplace. And then similarly, being in the workplace and seeing how an entire business is working off Gmail and Google Docs and their Google Calendar is so that inspired me then. I'm on the side working on my personal business to switch everything over to the exact same folder system and system where they work. So I think, like, yeah, every time you apply yourself, I like to think that you are adding to, there's a cumulative effect of your knowledge and your ability. Yeah, huge.
No, that's brilliant. And Shemaya, you know, I'm a sort of, I'm just in awe of you, literally, sort of like the model of resilience. And I'm just interested because there's so much that's happened in such a short space of time. What's your plan, basically? What's sort of, I don't know, the next year, 2 years for you in terms of developing, and might there be a placement opportunity for someone sitting in the audience? Who knows?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's hard to say specifically what's going to happen, because like things are developing like at a rapid speed at the minute, and like I don't even really know. But the ideal plan next year, so the kind of like year's plan, is to go to Fashion Week in February with some menswear as well as women's wear.
Wonderful.
So developing like a whole new range with a whole new custom base. Really get to grips with how my bespoke service looks, and finding bespoke clients more regularly. Because they've started to kind of come in from all different angles. So I'm just trying to kind of make sense of things. But building a team is really important, because at the minute it is still just me. Pretty much. I have had a couple of students reach out to me. One from LCF, actually. She's in a final year at Women's Wear, who came to London Fashion Week with me last weekend, and she's just amazing. So I do also recommend to students reach out to brands, because like I knew I needed help, but it was one of those things that you kind of need time to find people, and the logistics of it are a bit tricky sometimes. So having her actually come to me was amazing. But yeah, in terms of like plans, it's about building a team. It's about going into more collections and exploring what that looks like, because like, you know, it's not really been done before. So I'm learning as I go. And things are developing at a rapid rate. But there's potential for different partnerships next year, and potentially traveling a little bit more and going to different countries and exploring what that looks like. So it's exciting. There's lots to do. Lots more fundraising needs to be had. But yeah, there's no solid plans, but there's lots in the works.
Yeah, lots of opportunity. Michelle, I'm not sure if there's any other questions in the chat, or if we want to reference Discord now.
Yep, so there's no other questions, and yet if anyone has any Graduate Futures related questions, please just join us at Discord at 2:30, and the link to Discord is in the chat as well. But I just wanted to say a big thank you to all of Graduate Futures team and all of the alumni as well, and thank you all for joining this morning.